I love Pat Benatar, by the way. I love Pat Benatar.
Should we just
She's
listen to that
awesome.
song the whole rest of the
Yes.
show?
a great,
We could
strong
have
female rocker,
a,
yeah.
Casey and I on break came up with dance chair
Oh, yeah.
aerobics. And it was actually very...
I got hot and a little sweaty.
Yeah, and a short of breath. It was great.
What was it? I missed it. I had to go
You
get my
did.
glasses.
You weren't here.
You were getting your cheaters. We did the Elaine dance. We did the Marsha Brady.
Yeah,
We did
the sprinkler and the
What's the
grease
Marsha Brady?
lightning.
The Marsha Brady, she goes like, she throws out her thumbs and like goes back and forth. But it was like, I feel like, okay, so it was the Marsha Brady from like the movie, the Brady's.
Yes.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Yeah, not like the 70s Brady's. I
Yeah.
wasn't alive yet.
Oh, well, I was, and I remember her. I do. Okay, so we're going to talk about times that maybe you should check out the neighborhood around the house that you have interest in, or even if you have questions about specific neighborhoods. One important thing to do before you buy a house is check out the commute. So during rush hour in the morning on your way to work, how
What
long
time
is
do you-
it going to
right.
take you?
Depending
to
on
get to
what
work?
time you leave to go to work.
Yep,
you know?
exactly. I mean, do you get stuck for an hour? Do you get stuck for 2 hours? Or is it just a quick 20-minute drive?
Especially if you're, I mean, we're in Minnesota.
Yeah.
We have a lot of snow, winter, you know what I mean? Those
Winter's
commutes.
coming. Winter's
There's two
coming.
seasons, winter and road construction.
Right,
Yes,
exactly.
exactly. The other thing is go check out, go online in Minnesota. We can look at the MAC plane path, and check out times that planes might be flying overhead if you're concerned about airplane noise. Definitely look at the different flight paths. Do they go directly over your house, which I had on mine at one time, and they followed me now to where I live now.
Oh, good.
Yep, it's great, but it's not as loud, though.
That's
Yeah.
a good point. My brother bought a townhome up in Cambridge, and there's railroad tracks.
Yep,
And
that's the other thing to check out.
never heard the train.
Of course it didn't. It didn't go by when he had a showing.
No, it goes by at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
And again at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
So
And they blast the horn.
Nobody ever told him that.
Of course
Yeah.
they didn't. They want him to buy the house.
So when he got it, they're like, yeah, you know, the trains. Oh yeah, like you know, and he kind of would drive by a couple of times. You know, I think you kind of get anxious and and check it out and this and that. And you know, they're like, oh yeah, there's so few. Like maybe once a day they go by.
But
know.
what time?
Yeah,
1 o'clock in the morning.
Key question that was not asked during the process that his realtor probably should have found out. He said now it's just kind of, you know, he just sleeps, he puts in earplugs, and you kind of get used to it. You know,
Yeah.
I live
The
off of a
gentle
busy street.
rocking as the train goes.
Yeah, and the police station is not far from my house, so
That's another
I
thing to
hear
check
that.
out, along with when school's out.
Fire station.
How much traffic do you get
hospitals
from the school?
because
Yep.
ambulance. I live by a
Ambulances. I
hospital.
live on
I
a
live by a
plane
hospital.
route. I
Yep.
live by a hospital. You know what I mean?
Oh my God, girl! How do you look so great? How do you
But
get
I have
your
the
beauty sleep?
windows. But you know what I mean? Like we have the new windows and sliding glass doors and the Mac windows and everything. And so when those are shut, I can barely hear anything. And if the TV's on or music's on, you can barely hear anything. But when my niece sleeps over, especially when she was younger, every 5 minutes, airplane, airplane.
yep.
You know what I mean? Runs right outside. Oh my God, another airplane. I'm like, wow, I've never really noticed before how many times airplanes go by unless my niece is sleeping over.
Right. But, you know, it's such good stuff. I mean, I was thinking that just what a great topic, what a thing to think about, you know, that you don't. Like when I first bought my house, you know, I knew it was a street, but again, I didn't know that the hospital down the way, okay, ambulances and all those things. And again, why I think having a realtor and asking those questions and being prepared, you know, or, I mean, I guess, I don't know, as a seller, do you disclose those things or?
Well, I've sold a couple houses with railroad tracks in the backyard, and we just position it as the ambient sound of the railroad going by. We pull it right out and put it front and center because why hide something like that? There's no way to hide it. Another house I sold had a one of those electric pylons in the back. I can't remember what they're called. Yeah, yep. And it was literally in the middle of the backyard. So we called it the Friendly Iron Giant.
And what would,
Yeah.
yeah, well, and that's interesting. Like you said,
And you just got to talk about it. I mean, because otherwise, if you don't talk about it and you try to hide it, the buyers show up and then they're mad.
well, and I
and
think
you don't
for
want
even
that.
insurance purposes, I mean, I know you could always, you know, check with your insurance agent, but I know we even had an instance one time where they were close to a water tower, and for whatever reason, that caused them to have a little bit higher insurance or something like that, or if there's fire hydrants or something like that, because, you know,
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, another thing just to check out on, like you said, in different times of the day. You're right, and,
Yep.
and raise those questions, and maybe take a different route to that house. Am I going this way? Am I going that way?
Yep.
To find out what's around in the neighborhood. So,
Well, and what's going on at night? Is it party time or is it?
are you down the street from a frat house?
Yeah.
Or
Right.
I mean, there are party houses around.
people
so,
that have
yeah.
bonfires every night.
Yeah,
or-
exactly. So, I think that's
You
what-
guys got all kinds of articles over
We
there.
do.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is kind of an interesting one, and this is more so in bigger cities, Los Angeles, New York, San Francisco, things like that. But more developers kick parking lots to the curb. More, mass transit, bikers, the light rail, subways. There's a lot of places that are doing more space for living and less for
So are you
for
talking like
parking.
condo developments, things like that? Okay.
Correct. Yep. Things like that. So, I mean, I have a car, I have a parking spot, I live in a condo, but at the same time, like, I also live in an area where, we live in areas that it is easy sometimes to get around. You can take the bus, you can take the light rail, you can, even if sometimes you drive to the light rail to take the light rail, I think there's so many people that take that light rail, they go get off Hiawatha, and especially with the Viking Stadium right there,
Yeah.
they get off and they're at the Viking Stadium.
Well, you
and-
look at it in New York. People, they say how do they afford it? Well, they don't have car
Right.
insurance.
Exactly.
Because they don't. They take the subway every
Yep.
day.
Yep.
Yeah, how
Yeah.
amazing. If you are gonna that downtown lifestyle, maybe you could,
Right.
even share a car or something like that.
Exactly.
If you don't really need it every day because you have all that ability to
Right.
transit.
I was just in Chicago and we kept track of our steps. We took 17,000 steps one day. And
Wow.
you know what I mean? Like we hit our mark, and that was 3 days in a row. And it was like, and we weren't on a mission to anything. We were just kind of walking around, and we thought about it. We looked around, we were like, gosh, all these women, they're such in good shape.
Right.
Why? They walk everywhere.
Well, it's that mentality. Remember when the subway system went down in New York, was it a couple years ago, and they showed the picture in the morning news, like everybody just walking, like masses of people walking across the Brooklyn Bridge because
Yeah.
they're like, well, got to get to work. They don't have a car. The subway's down. Okay. They'll just walk because that's just what they do. They don't have any other, options and so forth. And I think as Minneapolis gets built up, where I live, I don't have an option to just hop on the bus or the light rail to get to work. To get around town to many offices and so forth. But yeah, condos, I know we've kind of talked about that in the past. That kind of seems a new wave of, are you guys seeing a lot more people interested in purchasing condos or living that condo lifestyle? Like the
People that are downsizing are definitely interested in the condo or townhouse lifestyle. And then, we've got the one level living over at Roseville Garden Station.
Yep, we're open right now for the
Yep.
Parade of Homes. Come visit us. We're there through October 2nd, every Thursday through Sunday from 12 to 6. It's off Cope and Dale. We're at 675 Cope Avenue West. Our pricing starts at $374.
Yeah, Jason was talking about those, and I
Yeah,
think when Diane was on the show,
Yep.
it was Diane and Jason, and we were talking about that because I grew up in Roseville, so I know exactly where it was. But again, talking about the awesomeness of townhome living and the amenities, having somebody cut your grass and shovel, power wash, take care of those things for you when you don't want to. So and we do a lot of condo financing as well. Actually, that's one of the benefits of working with Wells Fargo is a lot of these lenders, because these condo projects are so new, it's hard to get financing on the condo projects because not a lot of units have been sold. And so lenders can't find or can't finance on it because too many of the units are unsold or don't have rentals. So that's a really important question to talk with your lender out, or I would I guarantee you they'd probably suggest you go to Wells Fargo because, again, because of the size of our company, we have the ability to do financing on those when they're smaller, less of the units sold. So, I'm Stephanie Howell with Wells Fargo Home Mortgage.
And I'm Dawn Eldridge with Remax Results.
And this is the Ladies Takeover. I am Casey Thrash with the Eldridge and Stockwell team of Remax Results. As Jason would say, love yourself and love others.
In the middle of our house, it has a crown.